Hello, welcome back. This is around the 11th, 12th week, I don't know. And we actually finished 12.6% overall, 11.3% earned this week. Very good week. Um, you know, took profit off the big sell off this week. We're going close to new lows on SPY. So we took profit on that, and now very good way to end this quarter. Especially through all we've been through. It's a great way to end. Incredible. So here we have the performance. So we ended last week around here. This took a dip here, around here actually. We took a dip. I had an overnight position. I sold it in the morning on Monday because I realized there's going to be a rally. So that rally was kind of annoying because later on in the week it just deflated, and then I took profit on that, and then we gained a bunch. Over here, total performance, new all-time high, great. So comparison from last week, here's what I mean. We took the hit on Monday already, Monday was kind of messed up. I'm like, all right, well, it's gonna deflate, right? So the kind of just slowly was holding on to the stuff, and then we gained quite a bit, and then it's neutral, and then we gained again. So great. Over here, so that we had a big increase here. This is still around with the 60-40, but the thing is, the 40% and the 60%. The 60% is non-leveraged, the 40% is leveraged. I've been going into there's more volatile things, so the gains are greater. However, you can see our losses are greater too. So this loss was quite big. I was getting a little worried on that, and I was thinking, ending outperforming would be good. And then it was kind of the opportunity I took. I had a great opportunity on Friday, great opportunity I think on Wednesday, and I kind of just took those, as they came. I did it, and then we gained, so that's really good. So here we have the week percent performance. So HR, we did 11.3% this week, very good. Nasdaq -2.3, and I didn't really expect that. Most of these losses happened on Friday. We lost on Nasdaq, lost -2.6% on Friday. So there you go. We outperformed 60% of days this week. So overall, 45.3%. That's pretty good. I think our since September around above 50%. So that's also good. Overall, you would be -6%, -6.4% on Nasdaq. With me, 12.6. Later on, we'll compare the standard deviations and stuff. But you can see the performance gap. We're 18% outperforming, or more than 18% outperforming, almost 19. So that's very good. Over here we have the S&P 500. The S&P 500 didn't lose as much, but it's still going to new lows. It's not there yet, but it's going. It looks like it's going there. Here you have 40%, so 2 out of 5 days, not 60%. Didn't lose as much this week, but still negative by quite a bit. Over here you see the barely decrease. We're still at 45, and we're outperforming close to 16%. So there you go. Great way to end the quarter. Dow Jones, the one that least lost. Barely 1%, and then also 40% days outperforming the week. Overall 45, so that's good. We're in the 45 range, and then 12.6. And Dow overall. So Dow would have been the best choice to go in. Dow's a good option if you think there's going to be a bad period. So Dow is normally a good option, least volatile normally. And then you also have SPY, which is kind of in the middle, and then Nasdaq, which is what I just said. So here you have Dow, SPY, Nasdaq. Really in times of some good periods, they're kind of intertwined. Normally you have Nasdaq on top, then SPY, then Dow. And then you can see over here this big dip. It's explained in other videos, and in the next two videos, the performance review and the performance review since September. So that's covered in there. And then really what we care about is this big gain this week. So great. Overall, so our daily percent gain is actually, we hit above our goal, so that's great. We hit by more than, by 0.07% more than our goal. So 0.24% a day average is very high. This is all after expenses. This was the kind of the Monday thing, kind of annoyed, and then another loss here, and then we got 8.5, then neutral, and then a huge gain. We actually hit a new all-time high of a gain day on Friday, and this wasn't even the whole market day. This was like half the market day and already happened. So it was a big sell-off on Friday. That great for me. And then really we kind of see a 7, then a 10, then a 12. My idea is to keep it maxed around the 5 and keep our losses maxed at a 5. I don't want to really go below that, because then you start getting too risky. You might gain more, but it's more stress for like 5-6%. It's not worth it. Over here, you have the this week. So this week, first day was positive, 1%. Next day was neutral. Second day, close to neutral for SPY, or a little negative over here. Not that important. Neutral again, and we also kind of followed here. And then the next day, Friday, was the big gain. So also went into tech sectors and stuff like that, but there were more sectors that I went into that looked that were going to fall more, so I leveraged more in those, and we did very well. Now the red to green days, we still have more red days, and last quarter we did have more green days, so that's kind of a bummer. But we're gaining more, or our profitable trades are 67%. What I meant is that we're gaining more on our green days, and we're losing less. Like our gains to losses, we're gaining more than what we're losing on average per day. So it's almost 4% on a green day. This is a lot higher than last performance review, or I mean last performance or last round. It was around like 1.5 around there. I'm not sure, but right now it's very high. This is the average since January, so you can see this last week increased it by almost a 0.7% increase, and then here you have a decrease barely. Standard deviation past 4%. Kind of happened those last 2 days with the new all-time high, and new all-time high. Biggest gain in a day happened on Friday, so had kind of inevitable, but it's okay. Over here, S&P is losing a lot more on the red days. It's losing 0.3% more, so that's not good. It's good for us, but not good for SPY. Standard deviation did increase barely. And then so here you have the ratios, right? So the ratios were still positive. That's great. Our losses could be almost -5, and we be gaining and losing respectively almost the same. So that's great. Our gains could decrease also by a lot. We'd be fine. That's why it's good to have this balanced, or to have this margin, right? We have a good margin. Our difference actually increased, so that's great. However, standard deviation ratio did increase. I feel like it's good. It's good to have a balance between the two. You want to have this positive. If you have neutral or positive, and you're doing good, right? Because you're losing and gaining in respect the same, the SPY. So, you want to have this neutral or positive. So we did increase it by a lot, but this is still really good. Transactions stayed the same. The day trades barely stayed the same. And then here we have the overall. This is going to be the performance for you too, but we gained 11.3% this week. A very good gain. It's also like, these next 2 weeks I'm gonna take a break, so we're gonna be neutral on the on the performance tracker. Since I started, it'll probably just be a bunch of zeros. I've been taking a break since September, really. So every day, waking up, doing this every day, takes a toll on you. So I'm gonna take a bit of a break. I got spring break right now, and I'm outperforming by so much. I can afford a break, so I'm not worried or anything. And if it crashes more, great. Like, who cares? I'll be outperforming by more. But yeah, I could also just leave it in SPY. That's another option. I've been thinking that. But really, I don't think it's safe right now for me to go in SPY, so I'm fine just leaving it. So I'll do that. Right now, the performance review is going to be uploaded, and the full performance review is going to be uploaded, so pay attention to those. And yeah, thanks for watching. Had a great quarter this week. Had turbulence, but we did it. Outperforming by insane amounts, which I never thought we'd be. I thought we'd be probably 0 after that big loss, but then, almost had an impossible run. So incredible. More details in the performance review.